Welcome back to Safety Blitz. We want to lock in on these teams who are winless right now. Only been a couple games for the 0-2 teams, those who have not got a win yet. How likely that they could make the playoffs? If we had to choose a team or two out of this group, Atlanta, Detroit, Indy, Jacksonville, Minnesota, the New York Giants, and the New York Jets, the two New York teams, the final two, who might make the playoffs out of that group? Who is there reason for optimism in that squad there, Rod?
I think I would say the Minnesota Vikings first and foremost. They had a fumble in the first game. They missed a chip shot, field goal in the second game. They should easily be 2-0. They got veteran quarterback, good wide receivers, experienced head coach, and I think that defense will continue to get better. They have to find a kicker. That's something that's plagued them the last few years. And I would also say possibly the Indianapolis Colts. Once again, you heard me earlier talk about their offensive line, the experience that they have at a lot of different positions. And really, Carson Wentz is the guy that's holding them back. You know, you look at how long he holds on to the ball. They have a great running game. If Frank Wright, if he just runs the football, and this defense should come around. They got some really good players on the defensive side of the ball. They're just not getting it done.
I'm right there with you on Minnesota. Indy's another good one because Indy, really should have beaten the Rams. And we were so high on the Rams leaving that Bears game in week 1, which was our Sunday night opener. So you got to feel good about the team that the Rams are. And Indy went toe-to-toe with them all the way to the end. 0-2, I got it. But a healthy Wentz, the way they played, that offensive line, if Wentz could start returning to some of that best Philly form that we saw, got to think that there's some hope there. And if you look at Cousins really played great yesterday. Dalvin Cook had a big day out of the backfield. They have good wide receivers, Osborne, Thielen, Justin Jefferson. All of them had big games as well. So there is weaponry on that offense. I'm a believer in both those two that you just picked. That maybe the next one that would be on my list, I don't know if I'm willing to go playoffs, but I at least think that there's some reason to believe that they could be heading in a better direction, the New York Giants. What are you seeing from the New York Giants now that Saquon Barkley comes back? Year 2 now with the new quarterback. What are you seeing? What do you believe in when it comes to Daniel Jones and the Giants?
Well, I look at the Cowboys first and foremost, and I'm like, okay, watching the Cowboys and watching the Giants, I'm a lot more impressed with the Cowboys. I know they've had some injuries, but I like what they're doing on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously Dak is the guy on the offense. But yeah, man, you talking about Minnesota? Oh, no, you're talking about the Giants. The Giants, I'm not a big believer in the Giants. I think they go as Daniel Jones goes. And to me, he's just still kind of inconsistent. When he walks up to the line of scrimmage, I don't know if this is the guy that I feel the utmost confidence in, or does he even project a level of confidence? He's just so up and down. I like the kid. I think he wants to be good. I like the way he carries himself. He's a good athlete. But as a team, I'm just like unsure about the Giants at this point in time.
Yeah, they did everything in their power to blow that Thursday night game and wound up doing it. That's why they're 0-2 and on our list here. Let's get to the AFC North. The question marks in that division, it's a whole bunch of 1-1 teams as you look around. The Ravens 1-1, the Bengals now 1-1, the Steelers blow it this week. Now they're 1-1. There's one other team, the Browns, they lose, come back, get a win. They're all 1-1. There's some mystery. So who ends up winning this division now? Who ends up taking the North? Who's the king of the North as we're through a couple weeks? What have you seen from that conference in particular?
All right, I don't know which team I'm going to start with the Cleveland Browns. And for me, the biggest thing that I see from the Cleveland Browns, this revamped defense, is going to take time. You don't see the consistent pressure that you want from Clowney. You don't, the linebackers, the secondary. It just takes time for these guys to really gel together. They haven't played a lot together, and communication is huge. So I think, in the next 3 to 4 weeks, you're going to really start to see the Browns take shape. You're going to see these guys, if they can stay healthy, the communication and the trust and faith, because you have to have trust and faith, in one another if you're going to play great defense. And a lot of times I don't see those guys trusting that, hey, I'm going to be in this gap, you stay in your gap. I see guys cheating, looking, doing things that they're not supposed to do. And a lot of that comes from the defensive coordinator, Joe Woods. So he has to make sure that he instills confidence in these guys, and Clowney, and, they got to get after the quarterback, man. They're getting paid a lot of money.
Myles Garrett as well.
Yeah, Myles Garrett,
expect
exactly.
to have a big year. big year last year, even though he was coming off COVID, and COVID really was tough for him to get. It took him a while, maybe a month, 2 months to really come off the back end to get back to his best form after all of that a season ago. But you got to think as he continues to elevate his game that it would be a big finish to the year. It really has to be a big finish to the year. I'm going through my head, who do I think wins this division right now? And frankly, I really don't know. The Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger, I just was very underwhelmed by Ben Roethlisberger yesterday. He was taking some big shots back there. He's holding the ball. And over his career, he's held the ball a long time, and he does these huge pump fakes, right, that moves the whole defense. He'll go, boom, and you're like, how did he still hang on to the ball? And then he'll complete one back that way. So he has that ability to do it, but he used to be athletic too. So he could do this big pump fake, but then he could run and move and create a second spot to throw from. He really has a hard time doing that now. He's kind of stagnant back there, and he's just taking these big hits and creating more pressure, lofting up these punt-like interceptions. He's old. What are you seeing from Roethlisberger back there, Rod?
I see a guy that doesn't have a lot of trust and faith in his offensive line, man. I played against the Steelers for 15 years. I've covered them the last 13 years, and they've always had a good offensive line. And I don't know what happened. Yeah, you go out and you pay T.J. Watt $28 million a year, but you can't forget about protecting your quarterback. And that's what it seems like they've forgotten to do, to pay some offensive linemen. You got Najee Harris. Najee Harris is the perfect running back for this system. He's big, he's powerful, he can catch out of the backfield. He runs like, and I don't know if this is before your time, but he runs like Roger Craig. Do you remember Roger Craig, the old legend from San Francisco? High knees,
I wish I did, but I can't lie. I don't remember.
Yeah, just plays with a lot of energy.
I need the education, though. Yeah.
Right. They have the perfect back.
Sorry,
they
go
got
ahead,
the tight end. I like the Freiermuth. Is that how you say his name? But I like the young tight end. They got weapons. It's just that offensive line, and he's not as athletic as he used to be. So now he's having problems. You talk about that. Well, he used to be able to come back real quick and just sling the ball. He can't do that anymore. Mm-hmm. He takes that pump fake, and it takes him a lot longer to get wound up to throw that ball and release it. And Juju Smith-Schuster, to me, everybody tries to make him out like he's an elite slot player. And to me, it's just, I'm waiting for that eliteness. I'm waiting for him to really take that next step. And to me, he's just a solid player. He's not great. He's not special. And I want to see him get to the point where he's dominating people. And I just don't see that, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I don't either. And they're going back to that whole quick passing game thing where that's like becomes their run game where, they don't trust Big Ben to push it down the field like he used to. So instead they just snap the ball and just flip it out to these receivers, and it becomes that run game element. Deontay Johnson, Claypool, Juju Smith-Schuster. That sort of has become the strategy for this offense. But when I see Big Ben try to really put some mustard on one of these deep balls or push it down the field to Claypool, it just has this sort of lollipop element to it. It doesn't get there on a line or a zip. He doesn't really give him a chance to go up and get it or put it deep enough to where he can go run underneath of it. It just kind of floats up there in the air, and that's why I think that they're trying to go to this quick game just to make sure that they're getting these playmakers the ball enough to go try to win a game. And Najee Harris back there, who's a first-round pick in the backfield out of Alabama, he has a little of Le'Veon Bell in him. When he was in Pittsburgh, he could catch the ball out of the backfield. He ran in a nice touchdown on a catch this weekend for Pittsburgh, but he also misses a ton in pass protection. And while this offensive line's having their own struggles, it's dangerous having a rookie running back there trying to clean up the mess that it still is.
Yeah, but to me, once again, that's on the coaching staff to make sure that the offensive line and, the quarterback, Ben, he's a veteran. He's been back there for however long, 15, 17 years or whatever he's played. All he has to do is say, Najee, you take this guy that's blitzing. Watch the Mike linebacker. You take him. Or if the defensive end drops, you got the safety that's coming. Like, just simple communication. And Najee Harris is a tough, smart kid. And we know that he's been coached by Saban. So he's seen like pro offenses and stuff like this. This stuff ain't new to him. He can play, get him the ball, block, and reestablish your identity if you possibly can. But thinking that you're going to go far in this AFC North with Big Ben dropping back 30, 40 times every single game, passing the ball, it's not going to happen, especially with the injuries that you incurred on the defensive side of the ball. Who knows how long T.J. Watt's going to be out?
Mm-hmm. Our final question here for Third and Short, a segment that's been third and long this week, Third and Short from time to time. We actually do play to the name. Let's get to this final one. We have all these injured quarterbacks, Rodney. You know, just everywhere you look around the league. Wentz, Tyrod Taylor, Tua, Andy Dalton. Big Ben has a pec injury, which I think I know the exact play that came on. He got hit right as he was right here, and you could just see he kind of got up slowly right after it. All these injured quarterbacks. Does Cam Newton now re-enter into the fold with any of these situations? Does Cam Newton play this year overall? What do you think?
Well, I don't think so. I think with all the injuries that have happened, if someone was truly interested in Cam, they would have contacted him, and I think he would have been in for some type of workout or something like that. I don't think Cam Newton is the answer for, say, the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, think about it. When he got cut from the Patriots, he was still trying to learn the offense from the Patriots. Now you bring him in, and now you're going to put him with the Colts or Pittsburgh or some team like that trying to figure out another system. I just think it's too much to go into. That's why you have backup quarterbacks already on the roster, and that's something that he's going to have to deal with.
I don't think I believe it either. I just don't see it. I don't see him ending up on a team this year. It's kind of crazy to say that. Think about all his time in Carolina, taking him to a Super Bowl. I just think it might be a wrap. We'll find out. Long season ahead.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.